Swimming with sharks is not as crazy as it sounds. The media portrays them as the bad guys in our oceans. But that is not the reality. Last year, there were a total of 3 fatal shark attacks, but an estimated 100 million sharks are killed each year to feed the demand for their fins and meat. This market is pushing shark populations around the globe into a freefall. The disappearance of sharks could mean the collapse of ocean ecosystems that people rely on for food. Humans are the cause of the problem, but we can also be the solution. My name is Nicolás Ibargüen, and I'm the environmental correspondent for Fusion. I partnered with Sylvia Earle and her nonprofit Mission Blue to pull together a team of shark experts, scientists, and conservationists for an expedition to Cocos Island. We had one common goal: to raise awareness of the plight facing shark populations around the world, while exploring the marine protected area where the thriving shark populations are under threat. Welcome to Sharkland.
There were sharks long before there were humans, and they are critical to the health of the system. It's like a big computer. If you start taking out pieces, it doesn't run as well. They've been principal players in the ocean for probably as long as sharks have been around, which is like 400 million years. We're down to a tiny fraction of what did exist 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because we're so good at catching them, killing them.
Sylvia Earle is a marine biologist who has dedicated her life to saving the world's oceans. She established Mission Blue to create large marine protected areas she calls hope spots.
Protecting the ocean is the best investment we can possibly make at this point in history.
Julie Anderson's first visit to Cocos 8 years ago was a life changer.
I loved sharks and wanted to dive with them and spend so much time underwater with them. And at night, I would see the lights of the shark fishing boats, and I realized that the sharks that I was diving with during the day were being fished at night. And I thought, if this place isn't safe, then where is safe for sharks? I decided to sell it all and start Shark Angels.
Her mission with Shark Angels has taken her around the globe to raise awareness about shark finning.
From what I know and what I've experienced everywhere around the world, anywhere there's a coastline, even 300 miles out to shore, sharks are under attack.
Cocos Island sits 342 miles off the coast of Costa Rica, a 36-hour journey by boat.
Cocos Island for me has always been one of those places that you hear about and you see pictures from and you think, well, I'll never make it there. It's not realistic that I'll ever get to go dive there.
Hanley Prinsloo is a champion freediver and founder of the nonprofit I Am Water.
I'm so excited to dive a place that's so remote. I feel like we've done such a good job of exploring the planet on land that the real wildernesses that exist are in the ocean.
We traveled through the night and woke up to dolphins escorting us to the island that inspired the setting for Jurassic Park.
I woke up this morning and we're approaching this island, and I know that it's in the middle of nowhere, and here we are finally present.
Adrian Grenier is best known for his leading role in the film and hit show Entourage, but he's also a passionate crusader for the world's oceans.
But I'm still not quite calm because I know that there's sharks in the water.
A lot of them.
There's a lot of sharks in the water, and we're gonna get in there. Okay, so.
Have you ever seen sharks underwater
No,
before?
Never.
This is gonna be your first
My first time, yeah. Not except in the movies or on television.
The waters around Cocos are filled with schools of hammerhead, tigers, Galapagos, silky, and white-tip reef sharks. Interacting with these animals in their environment requires a unique set of skills. As we got ready for our first dive, I got a quick lesson in shark behavior from Ocean Ramsey. Ocean grew up in Hawaii and spent her life in the water with sharks.
When you go into the ocean, you're going into their home. Imagine you're going to an African savanna. You know there's lions there.
Yeah.
These are essentially just like the lions.
Okay.
You want to look around like a predator looks around.
Yeah.
So eye contact is really huge. So when you're looking around, they're very aware of eye contact.
So I should tell you that this is the place in 1972 when I first dived Cocos. 70 feet of water, and it looked as though someone had taken a box of those wooden matches and dropped them, and every match would be a hammerhead shark. They were just all over the place. I'm so eager to see what's happened now. So many hammerheads have been taken to the shark fin market. And although this is still the hot spot for hammerheads, there's still hammerheads here. But it isn't like it was in 1972. The goal is, but by protection, we can bring it back to what it was in the past. We have that choice. We can make that happen.
Sylvia, I just want to say, we've only just met, but I've been watching what you've been doing for many, many years. And it is such an honor to be diving with you as my mentor. I'm going to be watching you first and foremost, learning from you. But also to hear the stories is very inspiring.
Okay, so we're about to start our first dive of the day. I'm partnering up with my hero, Sylvia Earle.
My buddy.
My buddy. Cocos Island rises from the depths of the ocean like Mount Everest. The shifting underwater currents make it one of the most challenging dive spots in the world. It's also one of the most rewarding. The nutrient-rich currents that crash into the island fuel a thriving underwater ecosystem. Sharks are apex predators. They maintain the delicate balance of the ecosystem by keeping other fish populations in check. Adrian and Ocean believe if we save sharks, we save the ocean. As we headed back from our dive, our captain noticed a disturbance in the water up ahead. Our crew immediately knew what it was, and we got right in the thick of it. Our crew knew the flock of birds hovering in the distance could only be one thing: a bait ball.
There's floating trash out here that serves to collect the small fish. It can be a log, it can be whatever. And then the small fish attract the big fish, and big fish attract the bigger fish. And what we were seeing, the edges of this, what they call a bait ball. For creatures that live in the open sea, this is lunch.
Bait balls are in constant motion. Getting close to one is rare and dangerous. Ocean studies shark behavior, and her trust in them is apparent. I stuck by her side as schools of fish, dolphins, tuna, and sharks were embroiled in a swirl of the food web. Humans are not part of the shark study. Still, I was nervous. A human hand can be confused for a small fish. I kept mine by my side. The danger of being this close is becoming surrounded by the bait fish as they try to look for a place to hide. In the excitement, I let my guard down. A shark was inches from my hand. Ocean gently and deliberately pushed the shark away. We emerged from the sea unscathed. This is the craziest experience I've had in my entire life.
So out of respect for them, we're going to talk about this on the boat because we got sharks swimming around us right now. And we know that eye contact is so important.
Yes,
so
I
let's
know.
get on the boat. Come on here. Let's go find the next one. Oh, can we get
First of all, thank you for protecting me. Thank you so much. Because I've never in my life been surrounded by so many sharks.
So many sharks.
Dolphins, tunas,
Tunas.
and we're not part of their menu.
No, obviously not. I mean, they were going to town on their actual menu item. We're there as passive observers.
We were surrounded by how many? Maybe 40, 50 sharks?
A lot more than that.
And
I
they-
would say at
or more?
least 100. At
100
least
sharks, and they
100.
didn't even, I mean, looked at us. I mean, they noticed us, but
They
didn't
just
even
cruised
want
around
to.
you. We were surrounded actually by bait fish at one point,
Yeah.
and that's when I was trying to push you back and pull
Yeah.
you back a little bit because actually I was worried that the tuna were going to come in and bump you. And the sharks, they're interested in the fish and they want those fish and they're coming in, but they're respecting your space, and we should respect their space.
Wow, what an amazing experience. I can't believe it.
The action and marine life we saw was quickly tempered by what actually created the bait boat. It's what Sylvia calls the inheritance of the 21st century.
World Heritage trash.
Check it for fish.
Look at all these bottle caps. Oh, my heavens. A shoe. Or a flip-flop. More bottles. Trash ahead, trash ahoy.
Cocos Island Preserve is 800 square miles of protected water, but trash has no boundaries.
You know what we need to do is we need to change the term throw it away, because when you think you throw it away, it doesn't go away. This is so tragic. And this is only, you know,
This
a
is only
small piece of a big, huge problem.
Illegal fishing is another problem that plagues Cocos. We were shocked to see a shark swimming with a hook and line wrapped around its body. Protecting the Cocos is a challenge for the handful of dedicated park rangers. They say they are ill-equipped to monitor the marine protected area. At the time of our visit, their patrol boats have been out of commission for weeks. Coming up, Julie Anderson and I took Park Ranger Guillermo Perez on our skiff to get an idea of the area they are tasked to protect.
There's a boat over there. Is that an illegal fishing vessel?
Oh, wow.
There's a boat over there.
What we thought looked like an illegal fishing vessel from a distance turned out to be just another dive boat. Policing more than 800 square miles of protected waters is almost impossible, says Park Ranger Guillermo Perez.
La legislación trata de hacer, pero a veces nos limita y el mercado internacional es el que nos pone en el blanco.
Guillermo is talking about the global demand for sharks. Sharks are often targeted for their fins, which can fetch upwards of $300 per pound to make shark fin soup, a delicacy for Asian communities around the world. After sharks are caught, their fins are removed and their bodies are often discarded. Illegal fishing boats may be elusive on the water, but their gear is all over Cocos Island.
Todo esto es material ilegal de pesca que ustedes capturan.
Sí, que nosotros recolectamos.
Buoys, nets, and line have been repurposed to make the pads, hammocks, and
Wow.
this bridge.
It's incredible to take something so destructive and horrible and turn it into something so beautiful.
So beautiful, I know.
But even the rangers' handiwork could not keep up with the illegal fishing material they've collected for the past 4 years.
All the longliners do is they wait until the rangers go into one direction, they go into the other, they put their long lines out, and if in some minuscule way that they might potentially get caught, they simply cut their long lines and they're gone.
The rangers are left to pick up the pieces.
And when you look in this warehouse,
Oh my
this
God.
is seized long lines. And this isn't all of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, really heartbreaking. When I was here years ago and said I was going to work on this issue, I know I'm one person, and you know, even together we're a small group of people and we're all trying to do what we can, but I feel like I failed.
Please don't feel that though.
I know, but this is one tiny place in the ocean that is supposedly protected, and they pull this out. Imagine
The places that are not protected.
that are not protected.
So things are not better from what the first time you came here 9 years ago. Things are not.
It feels like it's worse.
Just a few months ago, Park Ranger Moises Gomez discovered a fishing line within the marine protected area. This long line was 2 miles long. Hooked were 11 sharks, including a hammerhead. By the time Moises cut them all loose, 8 were dead. The Costa Rican government recently banned the export of hammerhead fins. And despite illegal fishing and weak enforcement, the shark population in Cocos are relatively healthy. And it draws divers from all over the world. But for Hanley, free diving in the Cocos has another advantage.
When you scuba dive with marine life, you're a visitor in their world and they treat you as such. Whereas when you free dive with them, you become part of the picture.
Hanley took Adrian and I out into open water for a lesson.
The challenge with freediving with sharks is that if you need to breathe and you're going up and the shark's following you up, how do you communicate that that's not running away? Because prey runs away.
Of course.
So we keep our dives conservative enough that when we have to go breathe, we still have enough air to be able to have a standoff with the shark if that has to happen.
All right.
Seems like a good place to go deep.
Seems like a good place.
Yeah, this is a great place.
Normally I wouldn't weigh myself down with hunks of metal as I was jumping into the open abyss of the ocean, but in this case,
That's exactly what we do.
Exactly what we're doing.
We put our faith in Hanley and took the plunge. Coming up, we go from low-tech to high-tech diving.
What we're going to see are things that you don't see up in the shallow water.
A whole new world, right?
Whole new world.
As much as being underwater is second nature to us, we're always visitors in this wilderness. But technology allows us to bridge the gap that divides us. The Argo has an onboard submersible. It has the capacity to go down to 1,000 feet. As our journey was coming to an end, Sylvia and I headed below the surface one last time.
What we're going to see are things that you don't see up in the shallow water. As you go deep, you have a whole new kingdom,
A whole new world,
a
right?
whole new world. Yeah.
Is what Sylvia calls the blue heart of the planet, a world we may destroy before we have a chance to deeply understand it.
Can people do things to reverse the damage we've done?
If we use our intelligence, use the knowledge that has been gathered in recent decades, that gives us plenty of reason for hope. We have the ability to put things together, to see the puzzle, enough pieces to see where we're going if we continue what we're doing, and also to see what we can do to level things out, to stabilize and reverse these trends.
When you compare everything else to this, you just realize how bad things are in the ocean.
The best hope is for us to embrace those places that still are in good condition. I call them hope spots. Hold on to them as if our lives depend on them, because they do. If we do the right things, we can restore them to better health. We have to stop killing them.
Cocos Island is a jewel of hope in an overfished ocean. But we know we are tipping the balance of a delicate food web.
We're gonna have to pay for it when the oceans collapse.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to suffer when there's no fish to eat anymore.
This blue heart of the planet has given ours a renewed sense of purpose. As we return from our journey, we know it is not too late to turn things around. Save the sharks, save the ocean, it's about saving ourselves.
They're amazing in the water at finding their prey, and they can pick off that one weak, wounded, injured, sick, dying fish. And it's really important that they do that, otherwise that fish can spread its disease to the rest of the fish stock population.
I always tell people, get smart about the issue, get smart about sharks, and I'll take the time to educate them a little bit.
You put somebody in the water, you open their eyes underwater and show them that beauty and connect them with nature in that way, and there you go. You've got a whole new classroom full of conservationists.
We have the knowledge. Listen to the scientists. We have the information. We know what's up. Now we need to feel it and then get upset and get active. If everybody engages and participates, you're going to find like-minded people, and they're going to invite you in, and you're going to be part of a community of people who care about the world. And really, the problem of the oceans, it's the problem for whales, it's a problem for sharks and all the bycatching, but it's a problem for people.
There may be a time when we can no longer swim with sharks. Overfishing may wipe out entire species. And our oceans may become too polluted. But today, there are places like Cocos and crusaders willing to fight.